At this point, I have ran into, I knew it wouldn't be long, politics, rules and regulations, red tape. I was looking for a midwife, and today I found out if you had 2 C-sections, you have to have an OB sign off on your midwife. An at-home birth with a midwife. And she told me she's never seen that happen because the rules that the OB gives prohibits the whole midwife, the whole at-home birth thing. And so things like constant automatic fetal monitoring is one of them. Ooh, these mosquitoes. Things like and being close to an OR and stuff like that. So she says now a midwife, you don't have to have an OB sign off if you had 1 C-section, then a vaginal, then another C-section. But since you had 2 C-sections, then you are already, she's like, I probably want you, she was like, chances are I won't see you again. Here we have something called Imani's Village, a nonprofit doula organization that to help reduce the mortality with Black women and babies at birth. And by the way, like, insurance doesn't cover home birth, so you'll be paying out of pocket for that. And I already knew since I had 2 C-sections, but you have to go to a specific OB. And she told me, she said, now the ones I'm going to recommend you are ones I know for sure will do it, if you're healthy, you're not at risk. But she said some OBs will basically say, yeah, we support it, and they'll bait and switch. They will bait and switch you at the end. And I was like, ooh, I don't want that either. And so I said, well, what about this new birthing center up here that's under Mercy? Because I had all 3 of them at Mercy. And here's the Mercy website, and it's their Mercy Clinic Midwifery Love Family Women's Center, which is right in the parking lot of the hospital. And guess what it's next to, guys? It's next to the Coletta Breast Cancer Building. The name is what's sending me. Coletta Breast Cancer Institute. Back when I was having children at Mercy, there was none of that. It was just Mercy there. But anyways, on the website, see, they say midwife center childbirth, right? And then they go over all these things. If you are eligible, if you are carrying a single baby whose head is down, you don't have chronic conditions, your pre-pregnancy BMI is below 40, your prenatal tests don't indicate any need for fetal monitoring, you receive prenatal care from Mercy Clinic Midwifery Love Family Center, your age and baby size don't matter. So these are trained midwives. They have degrees, obviously. And it says that you deliver in a home-like setting. So this is apparently, I'm assuming, a new environment. And it says they have new suites. Each suite features warm decor, a double-sized bed, a shower, and a large tub for labor. The birthing center also has family spaces and other childbirth amenities. And I believe right here, it says, if you and your baby are healthy after delivery, you can often go home with your family the same damn day. Midwifery care at Mercy offers the best of both worlds, the empowering experience of low intervention birth with hospital resources close by. Our certified nurse midwives respect birth as a natural process. If you have a low-risk pregnancy, they can help you deliver your baby with fewer medical interventions and medications. You will use your body's natural cues to usher your baby into the world through the portal. That's very important. If you and your baby are healthy after delivery, you can go home the same day. I was reading all this before I even talked to the midwife and she told me, she said, yeah, those midwives are actually under stricter guidelines. They got more politics than I do. And she said, and you can't have a water birth there. And I was like, interesting, because the website advertises a water birth. She said, yeah, up until you get 7 centimeters, and then you have to get out the water. I was like, hey. I said, oh, wow. I'm glad you told me, because I could save some time. So she recommended me the doula alongside the OB, and she gave me some OB, 4 OBs, 2 at Mercy, 2 out at OU. She told me that the doctor at OU is her #1 doctor. And then I was asking her about a lotus birth, right? A lotus birth is when you have the baby, and the placenta comes out when the placenta needs to come out, not getting ripped out. And then you let the placenta detach from the baby over the next 3 days. The umbilical cord will automatically come off. So over the next 3 days. And I said, so I'm just assuming delayed cord cutting isn't a thing either. And she said, I have seen it. I have seen it longer than 1 minute, but you're gonna have to really stick with what you want, and don't let them override what you're wanting. And so she said, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you have to really advocate for yourself. I'll be calling a couple OBs tomorrow. The goal is to have a vaginal delivery. Vaginally versus C-section, that's way easier on the mother. Okay, on me, I have a quick recovery up and at 'em that night. I remember the difference. I'm not stuck in the bed, and I can't laugh, and I can't sneeze, and I can barely wash my ass, and all these things. It's better for the baby. Had I not had any C-sections, I probably would really be taking the risk, or I would be enabled to take the risk, meaning I could hire a midwife, they wouldn't be restricted, and then my husband probably wouldn't feel as anxious. But since I had the things that have happened in the past, which they gave me the Cervidil, it threw me in the labor too hard, ended up having to have emergency C-section. And the second one was just a repeat, because I had one 17 months before that, and I was going back and forth. And if I would have known then what I knew now, I wouldn't have opted for that second C-section, and I would have did a vaginal birth, and we would not be here today. Non-negotiable things for sure. We're not negotiating on any of the eye drops, any of the vaccines. No ma'am, no ham.